I'm going to start recording now, and I'm really sorry about that. Okay, so what I want you to do is think about a peace symbol.
Mary Beth, 1 second.
Yes, sir.
That got it icon. Okay, and Mr. Miller has a question. What is your question, Mr. Miller?
Yeah, are these functions, things, are they universal with other laptops, or is this only for this particular?
Are the functions universal from laptop to laptop? And also if you can discern the difference in the function keys between, because there are some attendees that have Macs as well. So, but they're not working on Mac today. But is there a difference between the function keys from Mac to PC?
So I don't have a Mac in front of me, so I can't be 100% sure. But what I can tell you is, if you learn what the little icons look like, so the decrease brightness or the decrease sound, turn down the volume, those icons are uniform. It may not be on exactly that same function key. So on a Mac, they may have the screen brightness increase or decrease on maybe F6 and F7, but there will always be the little icon. So if you can, always remember, if you see something with a little minus sign, it's going to mean decrease it. And if you see something with the little plus sign, it will be increase it. So even, not every laptop has keyboards that look identical. That's why understanding those little icons, and those are the little symbols, the little pictures, that will help you. The same thing with the icon that means the power. That's universal. That will always be the power symbol. It may not always be in the same place, but that's always the symbol. Does that help?
Mary Beth, yes, that does. In fact, does that answer your question, Mr. Miller? Yes, it does. And we have another question from Ms. Paula Perkins. And your question is?
It is, okay, even if they're, I don't have a Mac or anything, but even if the little icons are on a different F number, when you push it, will it give the words like brightness increase or decrease? Or you just have to learn the symbol that goes with that key?
Right, there isn't enough space on the little key itself to have the words. That's why these icons, the little symbols, are so important. But you can have the handout so that you can have the icons and keep it as a reference. There's no problem with that. But part of being able to function pretty competently on a computer or a laptop or a tablet like an iPad is learning about those icons, those little symbols. So pretty much today you learned about the big ones, the power button, the increase and decrease volume, and the increase and decrease brightness. Those are the big ones.
But there are no words on every one of them. So how do you know what they do, even if you follow the sheet?
That's where the icon, to understand and know the icon, because the icons are pretty universal from keyboard to keyboard.
Where do you learn what those icons are?
Or where do you learn with?
Where do you learn? These don't have words, so where do you learn what these icons
Oh, I see.
mean?
In other words, Mary Beth, she would like to have a lexicon of or a description of the icon. So say, for instance, the screen icon is that a computer screen. And you gotta use a little bit of imagination with it because they are techies that made these keys. However, if there was a breakdown, a list, say for instance, if we started at F1, and of course, what does that Z?
Because when she talked about the
Z.
plus, I didn't even see the plus. I saw this picture and now I see the plus.
Exactly.
So if you're gonna associate the plus sign with that picture or the minus sign with that picture,
As
you need
she,
to know what the picture
yeah,
is.
as she had explained, is that whenever you see the minus, that diminishes or decreases, the plus increases, and then, of course, to understand this icon, this is the brightness. It's like a sun, so it's showing the brightness. And but I understand exactly what you're
I'm
saying.
talking about the picture.
The
To see
picture,
the
what is
actual
the picture?
Even, what if they, I mean, I don't know, if you're not, what if they have just the negative and the minus and the plus sign on the key and there's no picture? How do you know? I mean, you know that, but I mean,
What may be helpful is that we map the icon to a description, it just on the sun, that's brightness.
Well, if you look at the handout that I gave you on the Dynabook by Toshiba and you look down at the bottom, I did that for you because I knew that the icons would be difficult. So if you look where it says function keys and underneath the key, I told you what it means.
yes, but it's not under every key.
No, ma'am, because those other keys I didn't think were critically important.
Okay,
There-
because
those-
I don't know.
Those,
I mean, that's all I know. Are they, how important are they? Do they do it? I mean, are we ever gonna use them? Like the F-
chances are good not. Some of those are, like if you're gonna do a virtual training like I am, and maybe you wanna mirror your image on another device like a projector, that's what one of those icons is. But chances are good you're not gonna do that. I don't even use those keys. So the ones that,
I'm sorry, I just
No, it-
wouldn't know what that icon is. If I want to do that, I don't know what F10, what that picture means. Is that the key?
I'll tell you what we'll do is that we'll do a mapping. We'll do a line to description mapping of the sheet that they have in front of them. And then we'll have that for them for the next, so that we can continue on and we'll define those keys for them. Okay.
perfect, great idea. Yes, I will take care of that. Okay, let's go back to the mouse. It's important that you know how to put your hand on the mouse. So you want to make the peace symbol with your index finger and the tall man, the middle finger. And those fingers should rest on the mouse pretty much like the picture shows. And then the palm of your hand is over the body of the mouse. So what I want you to do is just hold the mouse right now in your hand. You're not going to press anything. You're just going to hold it loosely in your palm. And I want you to just move it around on the desktop so you feel a little comfortable.
Now she's just to float around and you can lift it and navigate to icons. That's for the internet. That's the easy access.
So people will rest their wrist on the desktop on the flat surface you're sitting at, and then keep their wrist flat and put their hand on the mouse. And then you should be able to move your mouse around and keep your wrist in the same place. You shouldn't have to lift your wrist up and move your whole arm to move your mouse. Now, if this is the first time you're moving a mouse, it would be like the first time you crocheted or the first time you knitted or the first time you picked up a Phillips head screwdriver and were trying to use it. It's going to take a little practice, but I just want you to get the feel for how a mouse works. Now, on the mouse, where you have your hand on it if you're right-handed, where your index finger is, and this is in the picture at the top of the page, right underneath your index finger. If you press it, it makes a little click under your index finger. That's the left main button. And when you click it, that's a single click that will do things when the computer's on. Your tall finger, your middle finger, press that down. That's the right click. And that will do something when you're working. And then there's a scroll wheel. So then you have to take your index finger off the left click button and you can use the scroll. Okay, look at my screen for a second up front. Okay, watch my screen. I'm using the scroll key. Do you see what it does? It moves my page up and down.
Wait just a minute, Mary Beth. Hang on, because, hang on. Okay, go right ahead, Mary Beth.
Okay, can you see it moving up and down? All I'm doing is rolling my finger on the scroll wheel and it scrolls a page. Because many times when you're working on a computer, there's more than what you can just see on that screen. There will be things below what you can see and perhaps things above it. And we'll get into that in a minute. Okay, that's how the scroll wheel works. All right, here we go. On our website, I'm going to go to the page that says device orientation. And what we have on this page is this document that you have right there in front of you. And if I scroll down, I'm using the scroll wheel. I've got the handout for the mouse. And then when I scroll down, I've got some things that we're going to do. So first, I want to make sure that everyone can now press the power button only if your computer, if your laptop was off. Press the power button and your laptop should turn on. If it was already on, leave it on.
They're good. I think everyone is powered up, correct? Everyone's
Perfect.
powered up. And they're at the home screen, so they're ready to log in.
Okay, well, we're not doing any you mean log into the computer itself?
To the computer itself. They've been practicing the mouse at the startup screen.
Okay. Well, I don't have their login information, so
We do.
you,
Yeah, we do. Hang on, wait
Okay.
just a minute, Mary. If everyone will look to the far right, and after the /, you have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Type those into the entry bar. If there is no entry bar, hit the space bar.
1, 2, 3,
Or-
4, 5, 2 space.
Yes, that is the login.
Sorry.
That, now type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I am one.
This is right where on the screen.
Right here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh.
So you just type it in.
Oh.
Type it in. Here you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I don't have to
And
use
then,
the mouse.
and after no, you don't. But after you type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hit the enter key. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, Casper, it's incorrect. Try again. So, what am I doing? The numbers again?
All in the middle.
Mine does the same thing.
Okay, oh, so you're at the home screen now. How about you?
I can use
You take the number lock off. Now type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So I gotta
1,
push
2,
number,
3, 4, 5, and then enter.
press number for me too.
She gets it.
Yeah.
Would you press?
I have the
Enter.
same thing, so, yeah, do I need to push the number lock?
Let's see. Yes, push number lock because your numbers are locked now. Type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then enter key. The enter. There you go. You're in.
I'm back to the
Okay.
windmill, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so I think we're all good now, Mary Beth.
Perfect. So I heard some people talking about the number lock key. You can use that if you want to use the numbers on the right-hand side of your keyboard. But remember that you've got the number keys above the alphabetic keyboard, and then all you have to do is press them. So if you have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you could have just gone up above Q, W, E, R, and T and press those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then there's no other special key that you have to press to get those. That's just another way to do it. You're going to find as you get more used to all of this, that there are always more than a couple ways to do something. Okay, so now I'm,
Quick question. Yes. Paul?
You said on the number lock key, you press it and you use those keys, but if you use the keys above the alphabetical numbers, do you have to push the number lock key? Is it
No.
on or off? How do you know when it's
No,
on or
no,
off?
no. No, if the numbers don't activate on the right, then they're locked. If they're, and you can use the numbers at the top at any time,
Whether that key's locked or not?
whether if the number key is locked or
That's fine. Okay, thank you.
not.
honestly, most of the time, I use the numbers above the alphabetic keyboard. Most of the time, those are the ones I use. So it's a personal preference, but just so you know. Okay, now I would like one of the helpers to please tell me what everybody is looking at. Is it that the computer's on and they're looking at their desktop?
Everyone is at the primary desktop right now. They have their desktop open and the screensaver. So
Okay.
they're good to go.
Okay, but they're not on a website. It's just the desktop with the screensaver.
No website, just the
Okay.
desktop.
Okay, good. Okay, so now everybody, we're going to learn about important things that you see on the monitor. And I want you to look down towards the very bottom of the screen. Okay? Over in the lower left corner, it looks like 4 windows, right? Over in the lower left corner, there's a little icon that looks like 4 little windows.
This icon right here, you'll see it right there in the corner of your screen.
That's the start button. So I just want you to single left click, that's your index finger, and single click on it and see what happens.
More complications.
We're not gonna make it more confusing. We're gonna keep it real simple.
Okay, So,
Right? I Oh, I have to get the arrows out.
Get the arrows in.
So
Bingo.
click, you're good.
Oh, no, I
Oh, I
get
got
that out.
it. Yeah.
There you go.
No, you're clicking the middle.
Well, I thought that was supposed to-
No.
So is that little window?
The left.
all right.
How do I know?
So I'm expecting that everybody saw when
Just
you,
like that.
when you
Go right
press, are we okay?
Yes.
Okay, I'm expecting,
You're on the same screen. Look up front.
No,
Yeah.
we're not.
That's okay. Don't worry about hers. You're at the same screen.
Keep your eye on your prize.
Your computer.
all right. When you clicked on that, that's called the start button. And that's the way you can get to a lot of programs and applications that are on your computer. Pretty cool. So that's called the start button. It's important to know where it is. Okay, now to get out of that, I'm gonna click back on it. So go single click back down there and you will see that that start menu goes away.
It's gone.
It's gone. Everybody got it going?
You can make
Good
it.
for you. Okay, so it's time to pat yourselves on the back because now you know really 4 important things. You know how to turn the computer on. You know about the keyboard. You know about the mouse and you know about the start button. So pat yourselves on the back because that's awesome. Good for you. Really,
Okay, we have a question, Mary Beth.
yes, ma'am.
At home, I've got like an Acer Chromebook. Is that still gonna have like a little window like this, or is it something else to start? Another
you-
icon?
You will have something else to start. A Chromebook is a certain kind of laptop, but it does not have the start button on it. And I don't have my Chromebook in front of me to tell you what that is, but what I can do is just, I'll take a little picture and we'll make sure that Mr. Homer gets it and then he can make sure to give it to you about your Chromebook, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Is this, but, you know.
Well, we wanted to get everybody, it's, when you're doing a training like this, if everybody had different devices, can you imagine how confusing it would be? So it's nice that when you come to the senior center, that here are these devices and everybody can get the training. And then as you become more confident and we know how to help you, we can give you additional kind of handouts and resources. But to do the training itself, it's great that everybody's all on the same page. Okay, back down to the bottom of your screen. There's a black bar down there. It goes all along the bottom of your monitor. That's called your task bar, T-A-S-K bar. That's where a lot of tasks can be managed. So we'll do some of that in a minute. Now look way over in the bottom right-hand corner. Do you see where it shows the time and the date? That area of the taskbar is called the system tray. I want you to take your mouse and single click on the date and time.
Left click.
Yes, single click, and like I wrote in the handout, when someone says single click, it's always a single left click.
Click on the time and the date. Click on time and date. Just left click. No, time and date. Time and date. Not that, time and date.
Your whole
Oh,
calendar.
Click on.
Set up your calendar.
Right.
That's how you
No,
set up
you
your
click on the
calendar.
time
Way to
and
go.
But she said a right click.
No, ma'am, nobody's right clicking. We're just, you're using your index finger to left click on the date and time down in the lower right corner.
Tray, okay, thank you.
That's
So
called the
this-
system tray. And down there are other little icons that you'll get to know about. But what's nice is when you're sitting at a computer now and you wonder what time it is or what day it is, it always tells you in the lower right corner. And it's just one of the features of a computer. And that clock inside the computer helps with monitoring. You know, if you're gonna, let's say you're gonna play a game and they only give you 6 minutes to play it, the computer clock keeps track of that. It's just important that you know that your computer has a clock and it has a calendar with a date on it. Okay, now I want you to look down in the taskbar again.
Mary Beth,
Yes,
before you go another further, we have a question from
Yeah.
Mr. Artfeld.
Is the clock, I mean, the date and everything and the time and everything constantly set automatically?
It's automatic.
No matter, if you unhook it, it's gonna. come
If
back
you
on.
unhook it, it's gonna remain, it's gonna keep the
Remain.
time. Yes, and it has a small battery that keeps that time, and if it's set up, and which you will go through, if you set it up to where it's in separate time zones to where if you travel, it will then automatically be set, but we won't go too deep in it.
That's good enough.
We'll let
No.
Mary Beth get.
so when you first get a computer, so let's say you go to whatever store you go to and you get a computer and you turn it on and you start it out, part of the setup is setting the time and the date. So like if I order a computer and it comes from California, chances are good it's going to have Pacific time on it. Well, I live in the central time zone. So then I know when I'm setting up a computer that I want to use here in the Houston area, I set it up for central time. And that's really easy to do down there in the lower right corner in the system tray. Okay, so now that you've had a little chance to use the mouse, you know a little bit about what's going on down there at the bottom. I'm going to ask one of the trainers, where is the Google Chrome icon? Is it only on the desktop or did you put it in the taskbar also?
The Google Chrome icon is not in the taskbar. However,
Oh, I see it on over here. Is that it?
well, some have it on the, hold on, wait just a minute, I'm wrong. Not in the taskbar, it's pinned on the desktop.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, so now what I want you to do is I want you and see if you can do it, if you can remember on your own without any help. I want you to single left click on the start button.
Here.
And if you picked the little window button in the lower left corner, you were correct. So go single left click. And now you should see a list of all the applications. And they're in alphabetical order.
There it is.
I want you to use your scroll bar till you get to C, the letter C for cat.
Scroll down, turn the wheel.
So you just use your index finger on the scroll wheel and scroll just till you get to the letter C.
Okay, now scroll with the, hold on, don't click off. Stay on, now scroll with the wheel in the middle. See how,
And when when you're scrolling, you don't press on the scroll wheel. You just gently roll it towards yourself with your finger, but you don't press on it.
Press the scroll, just roll.
Yeah, surely.
Okay, we have two questions, Mary Beth. Hang on, wait a minute, Paula, let me take Shirley first. Okay, who is it? And do we have, what is the question?
We're not in the right place.
Okay, this is for Chrome. You're gonna go right up here on the desktop. Click out of that.
But we're not going to Chrome right now, don't worry.
Okay, I'm sorry. Went
Start
to
start
to
button.
the start button down at the bottom. Okay, now the scroll wheel in the middle of the mouse, you can roll that and it will scroll this list. You can scroll it down, yes. Just like this. So that's-
And
Put the cursor over the menu, just like I have the arrow. Don't press, just scroll down.
just roll it gently with your index finger.
Okay, question, Paul.
I don't have a cat in my seeds.
No, you won't have cat. I said, find the letter C, which is for cat. That was in case you couldn't hear me say C.
Okay.
Okay, so if you are in the C, letter C, I want you to single left click on the calculator. You're gonna find a calculator app.
Calculator.
It's gonna say calculator.
Okay. Calculator, under C, you got it? You got it? Okay, scroll up, scroll up. Okay, so we're gonna
There.
hover over, scroll up, all the way up to C's.
Yes.
Click on the calculator.
an alphabetical.
Hooray, yes, it is. In alphabetical order. It's in that, remember, folks, this is in alpha order. The list, pardon me?
Okay, that helps a lot.
Yeah, it's, the list is in alpha order, and if you want to scroll the list, hover the arrow over the menu, and then gently roll the wheel down, and you can read the list, and it'll scroll the list. Go right ahead, Mary Beth.
Okay, then I want you to click on calculator. And what's really cool is now a calculator will open on your screen. So almost all computers come with a built-in calculator that you can use. So you don't need to have another calculator if you've got a laptop or a computer. Even a Chromebook will have a calculator. Okay, now I want everyone to use their mouse, and I want you to click 56. Do 56.
Here you go, you're great with this, man. Up to the C, calculator, right
There you
there.
go.
Okay.
George has got it.
All right. Good job, George. Okay, 56.
See the 56? Push in 5
Yes.
and 6.
On the count, and you can
Switch it to
press
the
those
56,
numbers if you like,
this.
or those.
No, 5
So,
and 6.
Mary Beth, one thing that I wanted to interject, while
You
you're
did it, you
working
got
the
it.
calculator, you
It's
can
like the-
click on the calculator, or you can use your number keys, or the,
No. You could use your number keys, but I want to practice mouse clicking.
okay, mouse clicking on this. Okay. Because they ask if they can use the number keys. I'm out of school.
So we'll do that using the number keypad another time, but it's real important that everybody gets some mouse skills. So that's why I chose the calculator, because I thought it'd be pretty easy for the mouse skills. So, okay, we've got 56, and now I want you to use the multiplication symbol, which is an X. So it's over on the far right-hand side, click the X. And now I want you, we're gonna multiply 56 by 13. So now use your mouse and click 13. And now click the equal sign.
Way to go.
Yay!
You go 56 and times three.
Way
There
to
you go.
go. Hey.
See over here, the times,
Okay, now
you go to 13.
we're gonna do another one in just a minute, but we want to clear this. On a calculator, the way you clear it is to press the C key. And the C key is towards the top. Press the C and that's for clear.
Okay, don't have to do math anymore.
I'm sorry.
Okay, ready?
Know where we at?
Okay, now this one I want you to do in your head first. Okay, and then I want you to check it with a calculator. So this one you have to do in your head first, okay? And then you check it with the calculator and see if you're correct. In your head, do 25 times 3. And after you think you know it, use the calculator and check your answer.
25 times 3.
Well, hey.
First, you gotta push in 25 times 3. So you got a 40 up there. You gotta get rid of that 40.
Look, I think we
She's
got
got it.
Put your hand
They have it.
Okay,
Everybody's
we got a
got it.
problem.
It's 25 times 3.
That's right.
He lost his thing.
He lost the calculator?
He couldn't get rid of the 40 or whatever.
Okay, well, this is.
Remember-
This is where.
Remember, you can press the C key, or if you look up on my screen, there's this backspace, which looks like a tiny little arrow with an X in it. That will backspace, or you can just click on the C and do a clear. So if you accidentally press something you didn't want to, you can press the backspace, which is the little bitty arrow, looks like a house on its side with an X in the middle. Okay, did everybody check their work?
Yeah.
Cool.
So how come I pressed that?
Okay. Here's another thing we're going to learn about computers right now. I want you to look at the calculator window, and that's what we call it. When something is open on your screen like that, we call it a window. In the top right corner of the calculator window is a little minus sign, a little box, and a little X. To close a window, you click the X. So when we say click, we mean a single left click. Click on the X to close the calculator.
Left finger click, index finger click.
Index finger click.
Got it.
Got it. Everybody's doing
How
well
you doing,
here.
Big Daddy? You got it?
Is this one?
Everybody's doing
No,
well.
we're gonna click it. You're here. Hang on.
Yeah.
You're up here.
All right.
You enlarged it to the max. You wanna click that X. Now click the X. No, that's okay. Click the X.
I don't think I'm.
Bingo, it's gone. Yes.
No, anything I
Okay.
learned-
You enlarged. This is
So if you click the little
maximize
X.
view, so here's your X up here.
Then you gotta go back to
In the normal view, the
There's
smaller
an X
view,
up there
would
somewhere.
be-
You gotta click it.
Okay, so now
That'll
you
get
get
you
your
out of
X
there.
out. And now we close.
You can ask it.
Index finger click. Got it, George?
Sometimes.
No.
Okay. Go up, there's your X up here. That's for your calculator. Yep. There you go. You're done. Done like that, baby.
How many years?
Okay. Are we ready?
Okay.
Now.
We are.
Okay, we only have 5 minutes left. So if you look at my desktop, will look different than your desktop. And that's okay. Because when you have your own computer at wherever you live, you have your own computer, like let's say that lady's Chromebook, you can have any picture you want as what that picture is called a screensaver. So this is what my desktop looks like. And on my desktop, I have a circle icon that's red, yellow, green with a blue dot in the middle. And it might say Google Chrome. You have one too.
Yep,
Yeah.
but do not click don't click the Google Chrome that says Granny's on it, because that takes us back to the website.
Oh, well, we're gonna go there for just a minute. Okay,
Okay.
ready? All the time when we've been doing things, we've been single clicking. But if you see an icon on your desktop, which is what this is called your desktop, don't do it yet. You're gonna double click it. Look at the mouse handout. Look at the mouse handout. Look down at the bottom. And where it says double click is 2 left clicks, the same speed as saying pizza, pizza. So when you double click on that Chrome icon, which is that colored circle, you're gonna do a left click 2 times and in your head say pizza, pizza. That's how fast you need to do it so that Chrome will open up. Okay, go. Pizza, pizza.
We're clicking on the
There
Chrome,
you go.
Google
The Chrome
Chrome.
button.
There you go.
Oh,
Double
time
click,
you
double
just-
click. Okay,
Quality
so
helps.
let's scroll
Yeah.
down on
Yeah.
it with the wheel. Scroll down and click agree
Oh my gosh.
at the bottom of that
Oh,
form.
yeah, okay, accept me.
Yeah, accept.
And now-
You're good.
now
You're
I go
good,
there.
George. You're good. You're good to go.
Okay, is there anyone who doesn't have Granny's World open?
Hang on, then we're opening.
Wait.
Okay. Minimize.
Granny's World.
Minimize. Minimize.
And then go
Right
down to
there.
Granny's World
Right.
and click.
Okay, now. I'm
We
gonna
just-
click.
Stay right there. Stay in Granny's World.
There you go.
Have you gotten?
Oh, I clicked on the other one.
Now scroll down with your wheel.
I thought you
And
said
you're all right.
Google Chrome.
Okay, yeah,
Yes,
there's
there's
two
two Chromes.
Chromes on there.
Yeah, we
No.
thought you said Google.
Okay, click the Granny's World Google Chrome.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
And when you,
I don't click.
no, that's quite all right. Mrs. Miller. Okay, we're gonna click Granny's World, the icon, Google Chrome.
Double click on it.
I didn't,
Double click on it, pizza, pizza.
I don't have that. I have that.
Okay, but hold on, wait a minute. Scroll down with your wheel and click accept at the bottom of that form. Good. There you go. Now there.
I don't think
there-
you're accepted,
It's the same help.
I don't think you're accepted.
Yeah, I
because
was too.
No.
You gotta go someplace to accept the terms. So you have to ask for help, raise your hand.
Okay,
Click that.
oh, that one.
The one that says Granny's World. Yeah, scroll down if you will. No, yeah, activate this, just click on this, just click it.
Just
I think
click.
you
Click, now scroll down with
To the
the,
little Chrome picture.
now,
Oh.
go down, click it. Hang on,
Okay.
Mary Beth. Hold on.
All right. Here's another chance for you to remember how to close a window.
Hold on, she's gotta get-
We've got this window open for Granny's World.
Wait a minute, Mary Beth, wait a minute. Hang on, yes. We have some technical. Houston, now just wait, just wait and it'll come up. I think, hang on, let's close it.
I know.
Put your hand up.
Double click this.
Hold your little thing up. You should hold your little thing up to get attention.
Go there.
You should hold your-
Now you're gonna scroll down with the
Scroll
wheel
down and
and
accept.
accept at the bottom.
I don't know.
Okay,
Hold on, we got questions all over.
okay,
Am I okay?
I don't
you
have.
good, there you are. Oh, George, you went off, hang on, wait a minute. Hang on, Mary Beth.
Okay, I'm looking at the clock is,
Okay, hang on, we're trying to get him there. Trying to get it.
Now you're good.
Click that
You would have
tab
been
at
here
the
by
top.
yourself.
The one that said, the tab that says
Oh,
Granny.
okay.
Just right
Click
there.
there, just click that. Bingo, okay, we're good, right behind you. Okay, I got another one. Okay, scroll down with your wheel. With the wheel. With the wheel, click accept. At the bottom, at the bottom. Okay, hang on, Miss Perkins. We'll be right with you. There you go. Now here's your Granny's World tab that's open there. Click that tab at the top.
And that's
That's
what you're
yours.
supposed to have.
Yeah, Chuck, I'm sorry. I call you George. Chuck, there you are, you're Granny's World.
Right up front.
Right here, click that tab at the top that says Granny's World. Yes,
Up there, where it says Granny's World. Click that.
okay.
There, you're in.
You're in,
You made it.
you're in, everyone in.
No,
Yeah.
no, we're back to that pic.
That's where you need to be. One person.
oh, okay. Now, if I am hearing there's one person who's getting help, but everybody else is okay, correct?
We're all good.
We're all good now.
Okay,
Good.
okay, now, everybody, I'm hoping at least one person remembers how to close a window. Remember, up in the top right corner, you will see an X. You're gonna single left click on that X,
If you're
And-
indexed.
and it will close the Granny's World.
Yeah. Okay, so everybody, did you see how to close out?
Top right.
The top right-hand corner, the
You
X.
go up to the square.
Remember X
Yeah, the-
eliminates everything on the view. The minus sign will minimize the window picture net in the middle, the box, that will make it large, the full screen. This is an announcement
You're right.
before they get out.
Okay,
Okay.
now,
And thank you so much.
Thank you.
you're welcome. I'm gonna hold up 5 fingers, and this means I'm gonna hear from 5 people. I want you to think of what is one thing you learned today. Okay, so now one person will raise your hand or your paddle, and Mr. Homer will call on you, and I want you to say loudly what you learned today. One thing.
Alan?
Paul.
I didn't know.
Oh,
The icon for how to turn the power on the button.
Perfect.
There's no-
Okay, one more.
Olivia,
I learned what some more of these icons, little pictures mean. And I learned some terminology that can be applicable to other things.
Excellent. Okay, another one.
Heidi,
I have to do it again, so I can,
Practice makes perfect.
exactly.
What did
Just
you
like
learn?
knitting.
What are you gonna take away with you today?
I learned to play with the mouse.
She's understanding the mouse.
Good. Okay, one more.
How about George?
What you learn?
What did you take away from the class today, George?
Oh, I took so many things away. One thing about how the numbers on the side and.
Yeah.
How you get into different things, which I didn't know.
So the number pad, the key, the number on the number pad to the right, and
Good.
the functionality of the function keys.
Good deal. Okay, so then don't do anything on your computer yet. But the next time you have a training, which is next week, Dimitri's going to work with you on Chrome. So you already learned at least one time how to open it with a double click. He'll go over that with you, and then he'll help you get into Granny's World, the website, because we've got some resources there for you. But now you need to learn how to turn off your computer, and you don't press the power button. To turn off your computer, it's the weirdest thing. But even little kids learn it. I work with 4- and 5-year-old kids. Single click on the start button.
That's the Windows icon. Single left click on the start button, the Windows
you're
icon.
gonna go down to here.
Okay?
Now, you should see the power icon, which is right above it.
Look at the screen. Here's the visual. Go through that again one more time, Mary Beth. Okay,
Okay,
you see it? Hold on, everybody. Watch the screen. Watch the screen. She's going to give a demo as to where to go.
okay, I'm gonna left click on start. And right above it is the little power icon, which is a circle with a vertical line. And I'm gonna click on power, and then it opens a little window, and I'm gonna click on shut down. So it's start, power, shut down. Okay, your turn.
Okay, let's try it. Go to start, click power, and then shut down.
And then hit power, and then shut it down.
There it is. Shut it down.
That's it. Shut it down. No. You're gonna do it. I'm not going to do it. You're gonna hit power.
Yeah, you want to keep the class? Yeah.
Now, hit power. Now you're going to click on shut it down.
Mary Beth, I think,
Yes,
did everybody successfully shut down?
everybody I see is shut down, but George.
George, come on, George.
Come on, man, come on out of there. You're not talking to your book.
Start.
What you doing?
Start. Okay, start. Go up to the power icon with the mouse, and then you see shutdown. Yeah, now go to shutdown.
What is sleep?
That means
No.
if you go to, you
Don't,
don't hit that.
we'll-
Don't hit that. Don't hit that. That puts it in sleep mode.
Now go to shutdown.
Don't do that.
Shutdown.
You be bad, you gonna go to that corner over there.
Shut down, you're done.
All right.
Folks,
Okay,
Good.
Mary Beth.
Good job, everybody. Oh my gosh, you're on the road to just tremendous learning.
we on the
Before
pathway
you
to
go.
success.
Before you
Absolutely.
go, folks.
Okay,
You bring it back
Wait
with
just a minute,
you,
Mary Beth.
because we're gonna give you more handouts. So this is your sleeve or your folder for Granny's World.
Okay.
You bring this back every time you come back, so I can give you additional instructions. And you'll place it in here, and this becomes your Bible. Okay, does that work for you?
Beautiful.
You taking that with you, man? Come on.
Yeah, George. Hey,
All right.
okay.
We're good.
Mary Beth, any last words?
No, I just hope you have a safe and healthy weekend. And Dimitri will be with you next week. And then I'll pop in a couple weeks and we'll, all of us are taking turns doing the fun times with you. So it was great. Thank you for listening so well.
Thank you, Mary Beth. God bless you. Take care.
For sure. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Then I'll come every Thursday. Is there one for
No,
you?
Tuesday and Thursday.
Something to teach the 5-year-old.
Tuesday, Thursday.